on. All right, here we go. So what is nutraMetrix? nutraMetrix is a national provider of customized health solutions, delivering services exclusively for health professionals. In a nutshell, we're a win-win for your patients and your practice. So we provide you with turnkey wellness solutions that improve your patient outcomes and give you control over the quality of the supplements your patients are taking while providing a cash-based revenue for the practice. So we offer a wide variety of products, services, and solutions that are tailored to the unique needs of your practice and your patient. And your nutraMetrix consultant is committed to the success of your customized wellness program and to the education for you as well as your patients as we unroll the program in your practice. Okay, so this is a very important slide. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of TED Talks or Simon Sinek, but the gist of this message here is that great and successful companies share their why with their customers, and everyone who works within the company is clear on the why. So the main idea here is that when people understand why you do what you do, you're going to attract those who believe what you believe and who are going to be committed to the same things that you're committed to. So it really all does start with your why, okay? So the whys that we're going to look at here today with nutraMetrix are, number one, why is your practice offering wellness solutions? Number two, why is your practice chosen to partner with nutraMetrix? And number three, how does a nutraMetrix wellness system in your practice set your practice apart from all the others, okay? So, all right, it all begins with setting goals. So we're gonna support and clarify the vision for your practice by providing these integrated wellness solutions to help your patients reach their health goals. So it's really important that everyone in your practice is understanding why the practice is offering wellness solutions and why nutraMetrix. So how we start with that is that your nutraMetrix consultant is going to meet with the health professional and help that health professional determine and define and crystallize their vision of what they want their practice to look like 5, 10, 15 years down the road, and what wellness means to him or her, and how nutraMetrix solutions is an integral part of reaching these goals. Once that's been clarified with the health professionals, we get together with the staff, that's you guys, and all of us sit down and the health professional shares their vision and their crystallized ideas of exactly how and why they're integrating nutraMetrix. And then we're going to have a discussion with you as the staff and ask you, what does wellness mean to you? Because that is important for you to be clear on. So take some time to think about this and write it down so everyone can share together at that meeting, the practice's vision meeting, what wellness means to each and every one of you. So the idea here is that we want all staff members to be a part of the success of the system. We can't have this be a success in the practice without you guys being on board and understanding exactly what and why we're doing here. So you need to understand how the system works as a whole and what your individual role is as part of a well-oiled machine running smoothly in the practice. So one of the most important ingredients here is that staff members need to personally experience the benefits of specific products so you can share them sincerely with your patients and the benefits that you have with those products. Okay, makes sense, right? So as we go through the rest of this training, think about which areas are of concern to you personally, and your nutraMetrix consultant will help customize products to help you meet your personal wellness goals. So, let's look at some big reasons that wellness and prevention are moving front and center for patients as well as the larger economy, okay? Right now, we have the highest rates of osteoporosis, heart disease, diabetes, and obesity in the entire world. Patients are generally overfed and undernourished, eating out of boxes and windows, on the run and on the go. All right. And diets are missing many of the essential nutrients to optimize our patients' health. So what if we could prevent many of these diseases from taking hold even in the first place for your patients? Wouldn't that make a big difference in your practice? All right. We can do this by education, nutraceutical and lifestyle intervention, and general patient awareness. Okay, so let's look at cardiovascular disease. Basically, the American Heart Association predicts an increase in all forms of cardiovascular disease, which is affecting about 37% of the population. Major risk factors are elevated blood lipids, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, pre-diabetes, and general physical inactivity and tobacco use. But we can make a difference on many of these outcomes with patient education and early intervention. So let's look at cardiovascular disease. More than, about 47% of sudden cardiac deaths occur outside of a hospital. Many people with heart disease don't act on early warning signs. So that's where the patient education, and early intervention can make a huge impact. All right, let's look at diabetes. Diabetes is affecting about 10% of the population, and 79 million Americans are pre-diabetic. So most of that majority is type 2 diabetes, which is totally related to diet and lack of exercise and unhealthy eating habits. So what do you say we catch these 79 million Americans, our patient bases, early with prevention and education to keep them from moving on to that full-blown diabetes and all its complications? That's what this is all about. Let's look at osteoporosis. Half of women are going to have osteoporosis and have a related fracture in their lifetime. 85 to 90% of bone mass is acquired by the age of 20. So again, if we can know that half of your patient population is going to be experiencing osteoporosis, and that the bone mass is acquired when we're young, before we even hit age 20, think how many patients that we can help by interceding early with, offering a simple vitamin D, calcium, general education about how important it is to keep active and build that bone. Let's look at vitamin D. Food sources of vitamin D are limited. Patients would have to eat 2 servings of fatty fish every day to reach the minimum recommended intake for vitamin D. I don't think that's a realistic expectations. How many do you think your patients are eating 2 fish servings every day?
Thanks, Sunny.
The need for vitamin D is well documented. Foods are fortified with it. Cereals, we have milk, bread, those are all fortified with vitamin D because it is widely known how important this vitamin is for our overall health. In fact, here's a study. Vitamin D levels in the range of 50 to 80 nanograms per milliliter were associated with reduced mortality and a lower risk of common diseases of all types. And insufficient levels of vitamin D were associated with higher risks of cancer, vascular disease, and chronic inflammation. That's gigantic, right? Okay, so vitamin D is so important. All right, now let's think about what many of your patients are eating. All right, what's a typical American diet? Can we get what we need from the food we eat? Well, the USDA reports that many Americans get less than 70% of the recommended daily allowance of many essential minerals and antioxidants. Now, it's important to point out that the RDA, recommended daily allowance, is just the absolute bare minimum of these nutrients, and they're not even touching optimal levels of those nutrients. And 70% of Americans are getting less than 70% of those nutrients. So the reason? Well, because we're eating boxed foods, junk foods, running on the run. Nobody's taking time to cook a well-balanced, nutritious meal. So a good multivitamin is like an insurance policy, good nutrition, isn't it? Right? Okay. We don't need enough fruits and vegetables, protein. We really need a multivitamin. Okay. Now, even for those of us who think we eat pretty well, we have a pretty good diet, what we're eating is not as nutrient dense as it was years ago. So, you know, we would now have to eat, for example, 4 apples today to get the nutritional value that was in an apple 50 years ago. So we don't need to be eating more excess food contributing to our overall weight gain as a nation here. So we must, you know, really be supplementing. Why do we have these factors? We have mineral depletion in our soils. We have crops that are being grown in large groups in one area and repeatedly over time, which is depleting the soil of minerals. We have food transportation. We're not eating local right out of our gardens like we did years ago. Foods, you know, fruits and vegetables are being picked before they're ripe, thrown on a truck and transported for days across the nation. So, you know, foods are also highly processed, all right? Okay. So here's a study done by the University of Texas, finding, you know, that reliable declines in the amount of protein, calcium, phosphorus, iron, vitamin B2, and vitamin C over the past half century. Reliable declines, documented declines in very, very important nutrients. In class of 43 different fruits and vegetables were tested in that study. All right. In fact, the USDA determined that 90% of Americans fall short of essential nutrients. Now, what essential means is that our body needs it, our body does not make it, so we need to take it either through our diet or through supplementation. And as we just saw, we really can't get all that nutritional fortification from our foods. So we really do need to supplement. Okay, let's look at some other contributing factors. Basically, we're leading a more sedentary life. We have stress, we have environmental contaminants, we have prescription drugs, we're getting less sleep, less exercise. So, you know, let's look at that in more detail. The average American in sleep gets about 6.5 hours of sleep each night. Okay, your body needs 7.5 to 9 hours of sleep for optimal function. So we're falling short by a couple of hours every night as Americans. And studies show that more than 50% of American adults lose sleep due to stress. So stress and prescription drugs gobble up B vitamins and coenzyme Q10. So that makes our supplementation essential. So those are a couple things to look at in that area, you know, because we can't get them from our food. All right, poor sleep is implicated in cardiovascular disease, obesity, depression. Sleep is essential for our health because it releases growth hormones, supports proper nerve function, and helps in our cellular production. So it's going to make our skin better and more radiant, and it's going to help us, you know, look more healthy and young. So interestingly enough, the Penn State study determined that, I'm reading off a quote here, Penn State study determined that independent of diabetes and high blood pressure, men who slept less than 6 hours per night were found to have 4 times the risk of dying compared to those who slept more. 4 times the risk independent of diabetes and high blood pressure. Young healthy adults who slept less than 6 hours a night for 2 weeks consecutively were showed to have reduced cognitive performance. How many of us want that? We need to be sharp. We need to be ready to do what we got to do in a day, don't we? So we have natural healthy formulas with no side effects that can calm stress and facilitate good, sound, restorative sleep. So think about things like magnesium, calcium, turn down, and bliss in that category. So it's all connected. These are all major risk factors for chronic diseases that can be impacted and affected and reduced by diet and lifestyle. So we have physical inactivity, poor dietary habits, poor micronutrient status, obesity, and sleep concerns, okay? So nutraMetrix is addressing all these interventions, all these different areas, okay? And we take the guesswork out of addressing these areas by organizing key nutrients into synergistic formulas and targeted protocols. So you don't have to be a bucking encyclopedia to know everything that you need to recommend for supporting blood lipid and blood pressure modification, or lifestyle interventions, or glucose ranges, or optimal body composition. So in supporting our patients, I'm sure you all hear patients asking you every day, what do you recommend to help me lose weight? Do you recommend a multivitamin, calcium, or omega-3? What can I do to be more proactive about my health? These are questions that all health professionals are telling us that they're hearing. Okay, so according to the National Academy of Sciences, lifestyle changes can be reframed to prevent chronic diseases as well as reverse the progression of these illnesses. And what we eat and how we respond to stress, how much exercise we get, and the quality of our relationships may be as powerful as drugs and surgery in treating, not just preventing, many chronic diseases. That's huge, right? Okay. Next. Okay. So the dietary guidelines recognize that fortification of foods is definitely advantageous in specific situations. Mainstream medicine and consumer knowledge basically recognizes the need to supplement with folate, omega-3s, multivitamins, vitamin D, and a good antioxidant. But what are our patients taking? Patients already know that they need supplementation. They're sold on supplementation. Their $40 billion is being spent on supplementation annually. And also our surveys in the practices that we're working with show that over 75% of your patients are already taking supplements, and that they would rather have recommendations from you, their health professional, about the supplements that they're taking. So wouldn't it be nice to have control over the quality of the supplements that your patients are taking? Why send them off to GNC or CVS where you have no idea of what they're actually taking? All right. Are your patients getting the therapeutic levels of the nutrients that you're recommending for them to be taking? Are they getting the amount of nutrients that are based on the studies that were done to generate the results that they're talking about from taking that particular supplement? These are important questions. All right, so let's keep looking. This is junk science versus real science. Not all products are created equal. Look at these ingredients in a popular over-the-counter multivitamin, Centrum, okay? We've got hydrogenated oils, chemical color dyes, and talc in a health product. Really? Okay, now we look at some children's vitamins. We see that they used to have aspartame and all sorts of the same things, chemical colors, dyes, talcs, and now they're currently being sweetened with sucralose. So, you know, capsules and pills often rely on stomach acid for delivery. So, I mean, your patients right now are pretty much all taking their vitamins in capsules and pills, all right? So let's look at what they're getting with that. When they take that vitamin, it goes into the stomach and it sits there for anywhere from 45 minutes to up to 4 hours, exposed to stomach acids and degrading enzymes that can actually dilute the nutrients before they even reach the absorption site in the intestines. And binders and fillers further decrease that absorption. In fact, most pills, if you're absolutely at best, pills are delivering about 30% absorption into the bloodstream. So binders and fillers basically render the pills, you know, as bedpan bullets. If you can talk to any nurse and they'll tell you about bedpan bullets, and I think you can all imagine what that really means. Basically, they're taking it and it's coming out the other end just the way it went in. So how many of you just have friends who take that they complain about them getting, they get stuck in their throat and they feel like they're all clogged in there, or they feel nauseous when they take their vitamin pills, especially if they take them on an empty stomach. So, you know, we have a huge audience of people who are looking for a better way and a more user-friendly, efficient way to get their nutrition, okay? So isotonics is very important as far as delivering that. So let's take a look. Isotonic vitamins and supplements are delivered right into the small intestine, bypassing the digestive system. The body recognizes it when you drink it on an empty stomach. The body recognizes it as already digested. Passes through the small intestine with no dilution, and it's bringing 90% absorption or more into the bloodstream within 10 minutes of drinking it on an empty stomach. That's huge, right? So patients are going to feel the benefits quickly, which makes compliance very high. All right, so they're going to feel the benefits and they're going to keep coming back for more. All right, okay. So patients are looking for an efficient delivery system, synergistic formulations that take the guesswork out of it, high standards of quality control, and good label information and access to you know, information about warnings and contraindications, which they're looking to you as their health professionals to supply. Your advice is the most important part of this formula here, because they really want to know what you have done your research on and what you have decided is best and safe for them.
Picture is important, isn't it?
So a very great tool that we have for you in your practice is our wellness survey, which every patient
is filling out. Get rid of your picture, because otherwise the camera is looking at you.
I can't hear you. Okay. Try to mute yourself. We have just a few more minutes here. We're going to use our wellness intake survey to open the dialogue with our patients. And again, you don't need to be a walking encyclopedia. You just need to know the basics and where to find the information that you need to share with your patients. Your nutraMetrix consultant will supply you with product information brochures for each product recommended by the practice. And you can keep them handy by your desk for quick and easy access. So let's look at some common questions your patients are asking and what some quick answers are.
You're on the phone.
For you. There's a gentleman talking who I need you to mute yourself. Okay, let's look at some questions that patients are asking.
Now you're muted.
Which multivitamin do you recommend? Okay, you get that all day long. Sample answer, simple, simple. Great question. It's important that you are taking one. Dr. Smith has considered the importance of supplementation and chosen one that he approves of for our patients. It's high quality with excellent nutrient delivery. Here's an educational handout for the one Dr. Smith has recommended. Simple, simple, right? That's all you really have to be able to do. And share your, you know, if you get into a conversation, you might be able to want to share a positive experience you've had with that product with others, okay? Here's another one. You're already taking a multivitamin, omega-3, calcium. Excellent. So it's important that you're doing that to take care of yourself. Results matter most. It's important that your formulas are synergistic, having all the ingredients needed for comprehensive. If formulas are made with more inactive ingredients than active ingredients, you may not get the results you're expecting. You can review this education handout that's going to give you a good example of why your Dr. Smith chose nutraMetrix. Here's a big one. I'm on a limited income. All right, so it's important to understand that patients have different levels of commitment to their health, as well as different ideas for what's affordable. Meet them where they are. Just, you know, bring the information to them and couch it as far as where they are at that moment in time, because over time, as they feel results from one product and the benefits, they're going to have much more motivation to add additional products and try new things. What do you recommend to help me lose weight? Okay, well, nutraMetrix provides customized education-based weight loss management, okay? We have several different programs that we can customize for the patient and meet them where they are. We have the 21-day jumpstart, which gets them going right away. We have rapid results, which continues that faster weight loss. We have the sure and steady, which is more of a conservative, ongoing approach to their weight management. And then we have the continued commitment for maintenance. So when they ask you, what do you recommend to help me lose weight? That's a good question. Well, on a scale of 0 to 5, how motivated are you to lose weight? We have different options, small, medium, and large. And your nutriMetrix consultant will customize those options for you in your practice. So it's all handy and ready for you to have on hand. So here's the body poster. I love this. We put these up on the walls in the practice, and this is another way to spur conversation with your patients in your practice. So the end goal is to help our patients get answers to their wellness solutions, and education is the key to success. So together, we're going to help you reach the goals and visions with your practice. And your nutriMetrix consultant is there to assure a smooth integration in your practice, including patient education, staff training, office setup, and so take advantage of those free services from your nutriMetrix consultant. So I hope that this training has been helpful for you. Always remember that your nutriMetrix consultant is dedicated to helping you any way they can, and that it comes at no cost to your practice. So the next steps are for you to get more education about the products, find out, understand where the handouts are, talk to your nutriMetrix consultant about that, try different products yourself personally in your practice, and speak to your nutriMetrix consultant about setting goals and strategies for ongoing implementation. So that's our staff training number 1. And I'm going to open it up to a few questions right now in these just remaining couple of minutes that we have. I have to figure out how to see when you guys are asking questions. Let's see. Okay. I don't know if I can see. I think I can hear you guys. So does anybody have any questions?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
This is Jimmy Bailey in Charleston. Thank you very, very much for doing this. Tell me again where I can find this information in the back office.
Okay, so as a nutriMetrix consultant, there's 2 places that you can find it. You can go in your unfranchised.com office and go to downloads, help and training, nutriMetrix, and
Good.
A lot of stuff is right there. And then also you can go to unfranchisedtraining.com, and when you have the nutriMetrix status and training active, you can put in a special password and username and password and access additional information right there as well. So on that subject, I do just want to let everybody know that we've got these new trainings that are local in your area. They're called nutriMetrix 101 and 201, which allow you to get a mini certification with nutriMetrix and get out there and get the basic information of how to approach health professionals, how to implement in practices, and get out there and start, working with some health professionals. And then when, you're ready to make the full commitment to take the full weekend training, which usually would involve travel, you can have your temporary nutriMetrix status for 3 months once you've attended that 101 and 201, and you have a ticket to the full-blown training. So that is good information for you guys to have as well. Do we have any other questions?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, I guess that we're going to wrap it up now. And I thank everybody for participating. And we look forward to you joining us for our next platform, which will be the staff training number 2. Again, this is number 1 of a staff training series of 3. Have a good evening, and we wish you all the best with nutriMetrix. And remember, we're here to help you ongoing for support.